Won't you pour me another? I'm going in, so wish me good luck. Yeah, I gotta put on my favorite song. I need a boost.
Hey everybody. So today is Wednesday. Still working on editing the vlog from last week. On Monday I shared with you guys that I had went to the chiropractor, and might have been in Monday's vlog. It could be in last Friday's vlog. But last night was a rough night. We had that meeting at church, and while I was sitting in the meeting, my neck really started to bother me. So my nose is running. I'm sorry, guys. This is stupid pollen. My neck started hurting while I was sitting in the meeting, and by the time I got home, I could hardly turn my neck. My neck was hurting so bad, and it was actually like radiating. Oh, I'm gonna have to get a tissue here in a second. It was actually radiating up the back of my head, and it felt like somebody was just sitting there, like pushing up at the base of my neck into my head. And I didn't really know if it was maybe I needed to be adjusted today, or if it was just a headache, or if it was normal. But I had been uncomfortable the week before, and I had been uncomfortable over the weekend, but after getting adjusted I felt good, and then last night I felt really just horrible. My neck was hurting me severely, so I did a heat compress with some oils, and that loosened I guess a muscle or something. It loosened it up enough to where I could at least fall asleep, and I felt fine this morning when I first woke up, but I can feel the tension coming back into my neck. I actually texted my chiropractor last night at about 9:30, and we're really good friends. We've built a really good friendship with my chiropractor, and I actually worked with them right after I left real estate. I do not want to get back into real estate in this state of South Carolina. Especially not where I live, just because of how I just know too many people in real estate here, and I don't want to get involved in it. But even though I love real estate and I find it fascinating, and I really do love the real estate business, but I probably will never get back into real estate. Not unless by some chance I move back home or move somewhere. Anyway, so anywho, sorry, I saw a sticker on somebody's truck, but I was looking at, I lost my train of thought. When I left real estate, my husband's like, you don't have to work, so, whatever, you didn't have to work before real estate. I pretty much just got into real estate to have something to do. I was bored, and so I started working. So, a couple of months, maybe like 2 months after I quit, my chiropractor said that there were 2 ladies that were pregnant in the office, and when they went on maternity leave, then they needed somebody to cover for them. So there was other circumstances that happened. Anyway, I ended up working for them for a couple of months, so we've become friends. So I texted him last night at like 9:30 and explained to him what was going on, and asked him if this was normal with what I have, and he's like, no, come in the morning. So that's what I'm doing. I'm on my way there, and because I'll be on that side of town, I'm going to stop by my church really quick and just make sure that everything is set for tonight, only because I'm not quite sure if I'll be able to make it, just because of how last night went. And I'm going to talk to Stacy, which is the children's pastor, and just kind of explain to her what's going on and let her know that, you know, I'm going to try, but there's a possibility that if my neck gets as bad as it did last night, that I don't think I'd be able to drive. Because if my neck would have been that bad when I left church last night, I would not have been able to drive. It progressively got worse as I was driving, and it got really bad there once I got home. So I'm gonna just talk to her, and then when I leave there, I'm going to run by Best Buy, just because it's pretty much right next to my church, and grab a lens for my camera. So I have a Canon DSLR. I think it's a 70D or a 7D. I think it's a 70D that I purchased not right after I started YouTube, but not long after I started YouTube. When I do something, I want to do it right, and I just did not like the quality of camera on my iPhone, and I had an iPhone 6 Plus at the time, and there just was not a big enough difference between the 6 Plus and the 6S Plus for me to constitute upgrading. So I waited for the 7 Plus to come out, but in the meantime, I did not want to film on that 6 Plus, because you guys can go back and look at some of my early videos. It was horrible. Plus, I really hate recording with my phone. Right now I have the iPhone 10 or iPhone X, whatever people are calling it these days. And the camera is really exceptional quality. I mean, the camera has probably one of the best front-facing cameras on a phone that I've had ever. And I mean, it takes better pictures than I have a Fuji from like a couple years ago, and has better pictures than the Fuji. Anyway, it's been longer than a few years, so anyway, it's a great camera on the iPhone 10. But I really don't like vlogging with my phone, because I can never really find like where I'm supposed to look at. If I'm not filming sideways, then it's just weird. If someone calls while I'm in the middle of vlogging, then it's awkward because it cuts me off. I'm also limited by how much I can film because of, you know, the size of my camera. It's just, it's great, but it's not the best. So I've been researching it. It's not the best to vlog with your phone. So I've been researching it, and I actually have come across a couple of videos that said that there's a lens for the Canon. I think it's a 50 millimeter EF 50 millimeter lens. So they have it at Best Buy, so I'm gonna go grab that, because the lens that I have is just really heavy. It's an 18 to, I have no idea. It's the one that blurs your background. It's like 18 to what, 55, 35, 100, I don't know. I have no idea. It's whatever the lens. I upgraded the lens when I bought my camera to come with that one. That's why my camera was so expensive. I learned all of this after I purchased my camera. So, I really knew nothing about what I was doing when I bought that camera. I just was I was on YouTube searching for what's the best camera for YouTube, and every YouTuber that I watched, all of them used a Canon 70D. So that's what I bought because I liked the quality of their videos. And then I started researching what's the best lens to blur your background, and all of them said it was this 18 to whatever lens. So I have it on my wish list on Amazon, and then realized the other day when I was putting my lens on my camera that the lens that I wanted to buy from Sigma is the same lens that I have on my camera. I just never noticed that it blurred my backgrounds, I guess. Or maybe I never put myself in that situation for it to blur the background. I don't know. Either way, I'm going to buy this other lens. So, anyway, I'm almost at my chiropractor and it's starting to rain. So, I will check in with you guys here in a little bit. I love me some Thomas Rhett. I listen to all kinds of music, but today I'm in a country music mood. So today is Thursday, and man, do I feel about 90% better. So today is the first day all week that my neck has not bothered me or given me a headache. Like I woke up with a headache the past couple of days. In fact, since Friday I woke up with a headache. And last night my neck was hurting so bad I didn't even go to church. I thought I was gonna be able to, because yesterday morning after I went to the chiropractor my neck wasn't hurting so bad. But as the day progressed, it progressed and it got worse. And I was nervous to drive because of Tuesday night when I was coming home and my head was hurting so bad. But last night I was researching different oils that I could use. And I slathered, I put like 3 or 4 drops neat of peppermint oil on my neck with copaiba, a few drops of copaiba. I layered that on top, and I did that because my chiropractor told me that ice would be better than heat, which the night before heat was the only way I could go to sleep. And I told him that, and he was like, okay, well, that's better than nothing. He's like, but ice will help you so much more than doing the heat in the long run. And I was like, okay. He's like, what's going on? He's like, I've pretty much worked out most of the torticollis. He's like, but you know, the muscles in your neck are just so tight that it's hindering you. And I was like, okay, well, I get that. So I started doing some research after I put the peppermint oil on and the copaiba. And wintergreen is a good anti-spasmodic, and peppermint oil is really good. I did peppermint oil because peppermint oil keeps you cool, and I hate putting ice on. I don't know why, but I hate it. And so I put peppermint on for that cooling sensation, and then I put a wet rag of cool water to kind of enhance that a little bit for a few minutes. I did that, but just the peppermint oil alone helped tremendously. And then copaiba is an anti-inflammatory, so that he said my muscles were really inflamed, so that's why I did that. And I just put it right on both sides of my neck on the big muscles. And I did that last night, and I did it right before I went to bed. I did it again, And then this morning I was looking, and wintergreen is also, like I said, it's a really good anti-spasmodic. So I think that part of the reason is my neck was having muscle spasms. So I put peppermint oil on first, about 3 or 4 drops neat, which all putting an oil on neat, N-E-A-T, all that means is you're putting it on straight. You're not diluting it, kind of like when you drink a whiskey neat, you don't dilute it with anything. And you don't put it on the rocks or on ice, you just straight up. So putting oil on neat means that you're doing it just straight up, no carrier oil. So I did peppermint oil, copaiba, and then I layered again with some wintergreen. And man, I'm feeling like I could take on the world. So it's really good. It's got that cold tingling sensation, so it's like putting ice on it. And then the copaiba is a good anti-inflammatory. So there's your little mini oil lesson for the day. I had no choice. I have to run out today, and since it's early and I was feeling good and the night seems to be worse with this whatever it is, I figured I would head out now. My friend Brittany, she is going out of town tonight, and tomorrow is that ladies thing, and she will be back tomorrow. But we really need to get all the food and stuff today. So I am meeting her at the Walmart in a town over in Somerville. And I'm gonna meet her there, and we're gonna go shopping. So yeah, that's pretty fun. I need to run to Best Buy as well. I need to pick groceries up for us at Walmart, but I need to go to Best Buy too, because I need to take the lens. So yesterday when I was out, why in the world, people, I swear to God, people, they're dumb. There are some dumb drivers. This lady just passed three entrances to Bojangles, and she turned out in traffic on a main road to go 3 feet to turn in to another entrance to Bojangles. Anyway, let's see, what was I going to tell you? Oh, yesterday while I was out, and I was at my church, getting stuff ready for last night, which I'm so glad that I made sure that everything was ready, because, I had everything ready, but I wasn't able to make it, even though I was planning on making it. But I went to Best Buy because it was right up the street from where I was at, and I got a new lens for my DSLR. I got the EF 50mm with an f-stop of, I think it's 1.8, but, which, I mean, it's the nifty 50 lens. It's amazing. Like, the lens quality is really good, and I think it's the 18 55 mil or 18 135. It's a really, really good lens, the one that came on my camera, but it's just so big and bulky and heavy. So I'm gonna take the 50 that I got, the nifty 50 that I got, I'm gonna take that back, and I'm gonna get the 24mm pancake lens. So you can still get bokeh, but I'm not too worried about getting the bokeh, which is the blurry background. I'm not too worried about bokeh. I'm more worried about, I just don't want to have to buy another camera. And the 24mm lens is one that I'll use, you know, and one that I can keep on my camera unless I need to, like, film sit still videos, then I can use my other lens. So not that big of a deal. So I'm gonna get that, and I'm wondering if it would be better to go. I'm just gonna go straight. Sorry, I was trying to figure out, well, one, there's cops. I heard sirens, but I was trying to figure out what would be the best way to get to where I'm going. But anyway, I really think I'm going to get that 24mm lens. I really think it would step up my vlogging game. Are you guys enjoying where I just talk to you guys, or are there other things that you would love to see in a vlog? Like, would you rather see, you know, scenery or people? If I could get, I mean, I know it's always fun when you have other people in your vlog, but I don't really have a lot of other people that I hang out with a lot, that want to be on camera anyway. My husband hates to be on camera. My stepson hates to be on camera. Apparently none of my planner girls want to be on camera. And, well, Brittany was in my vlog last week, so that I still haven't edited, so it will probably go up the same time this vlog goes up. Who even knows? Shoot, I just ran that red light because I couldn't see it because of this truck in front of me. Anyway, so, yep. Alright, well, I'm just gonna drive. Oh, book update. Okay, so I couldn't find anything good that I wanted to listen to. I think it was Monday when I was on the way from listening to that book, Here's to Us. I finished that book, and that was, let me tell you, that was probably one of the worst books I might have ever read. I mean, there were some interesting parts, but there wasn't enough interesting parts to make me want to keep this book. There was one part on the way home that I kind of got sucked into, so that's why I continued to read it. But I already have the hard book, so I think I'm going to, see if I can return this book, because it was horrible. It was a horrible book. They probably won't let me return it because I've already listened to it, but I'm going to try. I'm never listening to that book again. What's horrible. I'll go ahead. No, I don't want to be one of those people that tells you everything about a book. It was just not a book. Go read some reviews. If you like this author and you get, like, how she writes, it, you know, whatever. But, no. Never again. Never again am I reading her books. I mean, she's gonna have to step up her game. I don't know how she got on a bestseller list with this book, for real. It jumped around way too much. It jumped around, and then you got, like, this one kid who's hooked on drugs, and he's like, it's just not cohesive at all. I can't stand it. Nope. The cover of this book made me want to read it. And the whole, like, last 30 minutes of the book, listening to the book, just didn't even make sense. It's like she had to write out a paragraph or 2 paragraphs or a page or something like that just to tie up all the loose ends in the book. And it was just so choppy. It was bad. The epilogue is her telling you why she wrote the book. Yeah, stupid. Yeah. Anyways, sorry if that offends you, if you're a fan of her book. I mean, it wasn't, I'm making it sound worse than it was. It wasn't a completely horrible book. I mean, I finished it, so it wasn't completely horrible. It did add to my Goodreads list, so now I'm one extra book ahead, you know what I mean? But would I walk into a Barnes and Noble and have a friend ask me if I should read that book, and am I going to tell them to read it? Probably not. Probably never going to recommend that book to anybody. But you may like her books. You may like them, and that is completely okay. We can all have different opinions, that's for sure. Because there's a bunch of books that people read, that people like, and I read them, and I'm like, oh God, no, why would you ever want to read this book? No ma'am. So, alright, well now I'm on the interstate, and I will check back in with you guys in a little bit. Hey you guys, so I'm on a completely different side of town now. Finally back home in North Charleston. There are a few places around here that I hate going, and one of those is Somerville, which is a crying shame because it's beautiful, and especially like the historic downtown Somerville is gorgeous. And they have some really good like places to like shop and walk downtown Somerville. It's beautiful. However, traffic is horrendous. Like, people complain all the time about the traffic in Charleston and North Charleston, and traffic is bad, okay, but it's predictable, and it's just not, it's slow because you have so many people commuting. It's very predictable though. Like, I know between such and such time not to go down certain roads because people are on their way to work. 26 is going to be crowded because everybody's going to work. Most people work downtown Charleston. But Somerville traffic is just like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, unless it's going to snow or there's a hurricane. People going to be on the road. I don't know why all these people are on the road, where they work, what they do, but I think most of them just drive around as their full-time job to clog up the streets because it's horrible. And they're dumb. I was vlogging to actually get footage just of like driving on the interstate, and I was getting across 3 lanes of traffic because, you know, whenever you get off the interstate, you have to immediately get into the lane that you want to get into. So I had to cross over 2 lanes of traffic and get in the 3rd lane farthest from me. And somebody was in the turning lane, the outside turning lane to get onto the interstate on the same road. They literally changed their mind and just right out into my lane, and I almost hit them. Like, dead on hit them. I was mad. There's this guy behind me who's doing a U-turn, and you're not supposed, that guy right there, you see him? This one? Doing a U-turn where you're not supposed to be doing a U-turn to get into my lane to change his mind to get all the way back over there. It's ridiculous. Listen, I'll tell you right now what the problem is with all these drivers in South Carolina, and I learned this. So, growing up in North Carolina, in order to get my driver's license, I had to take a semester of the written course where you had to go to it every day for 2 or 3 hours after school for like 9 weeks to learn how to drive according to a book, okay? Well, we watched videos, but there was a test every day that I had to pass, or once a week there was a test on everything that you learned. It was like taking a math class or a science class. I had to take it for 9 weeks, and I had to pass that class just in order to get into the driving portion to drive. And we had to have like, it was like 7 or 8 weekends, so another like 9 weeks. We had to drive all day on a Saturday with a certified driver in order to get our permit, okay? You had to pass the written portion, then you had to pass the driving portion just to go to the DMV to take your test, and you had to do a written test and a driving test to get your permit. Okay, when you got your permit, you had to keep your permit for a year. For the first 6 months, you could only drive when it was daytime. When the sun was up, you could drive, and when the sun went down, you could not drive. And you had to have an adult in the front seat of the car with you, and that person had to be over, I think it's like 24, because they had, or 21, they had to have like 3 years of driving experience to sit in the front seat. You couldn't have anyone under 18 in the car with you. It was ridiculous, okay? But you did that for the first 6 months. For the next 6 months, you could drive anytime you wanted to, as long as you had a person in the car with you, okay? Same restrictions. The only difference is now you can drive when it's dark. So after you had your permit for a year, then you could go to the DMV, and you had to take your vision test, your signs test, and then you had to, then after that, you did another driving test. And after you passed the driving test, then you could get your unrestricted under 18 license. When you were after you turned 18, you could go back, take your vision, your sign test again, and bring in like your birth certificate or your driver's license, whatever. And you could upgrade to an under 21. Then once you turn 21, you could go back and you could get your new one if you wanted to. But it really didn't matter at that point. I just kept my license until I moved to South Carolina. Until they expired, I moved to South Carolina. Anyway, it's not like that in South Carolina, y'all. That's why we got so many problems. Okay? So in South Carolina, when you turn 15, you can just go get your permit, boo. When you turn 15, you can just go get your permit. Just waltz right on in to the DMV and get a book. Read the book. Go back a couple days later or whatever. Take the written part of your driver's test. And boom. You got your permit. After 6 months of having your permit, boom, you can just go get your driver's license. Or at least this is how it was when Kyle, so it's been like 5 years ago when Kyle got his driver's license. This is how it was. Now, they may have changed some stuff. You might have to do whatever. I don't know. But 5 years ago, my personal experience, you turn 15, you can just go get your permit. 6 months later, you can be 15 years old and driving a freaking car with no adults in the car just because you got your full-blown license. And then, as an incentive, if your parents want cheaper insurance, you can take a driver's ed course. But you don't have to. Or you didn't have to 5 years ago. You didn't have to take one. And they wonder why there's so many wrecks on the road. You got little 15-year-olds out there driving themselves to school. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I think if everybody did... I mean, we had wrecks in North Carolina, but it was like not this bad. At least not where I lived. It was not this bad. There was not like 6 wrecks every single day on the way to work or school. It just wasn't like that growing up. And we were a military town, okay? We had a lot of people. I lived in Fayetteville, North Carolina. That's where I'm from. And crime was horrible. Drugs were bad. Some places were not a very safe place to grow up in. But at least there weren't wrecks because people knew how to drive. Because they've been driving for 2 years before they ever got their driver's license. My cousin, he dropped out of high school. He dropped out of high school when he turned 16, 17. They revoked his license. He had went through driver's ed. He had his permit and had his driver's license, 17 years old. He quit school and they revoked his driver's license. So he had to go back through the whole process again. Well, minus like the class, because he had took the class. He didn't have to take that. But he had to go back. He had to have his permit all over again. Or he could wait until he was 21 and just go out and get his license. So that's what he did. He just waited until he was 21. His mom just dropped him off at work. I mean, what? It's ridiculous. Sometimes I dropped him off at work. He worked with his stepdad for most of the part, so he just walked outside. But, you know, if he had to work somewhere else, somebody just dropped him off. But it's ridiculous. That's why we have all of these somebody tell me in the comments, like, what state you're from and how drivers are in your town. Like, if you have stricter driver's license requirements, like to get your driver's license, like, how is it? If it's really strict to get your license, how is, like, the traffic? Not traffic, but, like, do you have a lot of accidents? Do you have a lot of stupid people on the road? Y'all, come visit Charleston and tell me how you like our traffic. I love it. I hear people, like tourists, all the time complaining about traffic. And I'm like, y'all, if you want to see traffic, go back to where I'm from, okay? Like, go to Fayetteville, North Carolina. Then you can talk to me about how bad you like Charleston traffic. Because I will take Charleston traffic all day, every day over... Well, I do. I take Charleston traffic all day, every day over Fayetteville traffic. I'm not even going to lie. My Dr. Pepper. Not sponsored. But if you want to sponsor me, I'll drink it every day, all day in my vlogs. Y'all, I feel so much better. I'm in such a better mood today. I don't know why. Alright, well, ooh. I just saw a new Range Rover. That might be my new car next year, boo. My husband, we were talking about it, and he wanted to get me a new car at the end of last year for tax write-off or whatever for the business, but we ended up not doing it. I think he got one instead, but it's not even going to count towards last year. It's going to count towards this year because he special ordered one. He got one of the new Dodge Rams. I don't know what kind. I think it's a 2500, maybe an Eco Diesel, but I'm not positive. Oh, he got the Dodge Ram 2500 Power Wagon. I don't know if that's diesel or if it's gas. But anyway, so maybe next year I'll get a new car. I don't really want a new car. But I'll tell you, I really do like my Yukon. And if the new Yukons next year, the 2019 Yukons, depending on what they look like and how they ride, I might trade in my Yukon on one. Then I think I'm ready for a white car. Let's see, I had a hunter green Dodge Durango, and then I totaled that car. Not my fault. That car was totaled, and then I got a Chrysler 300C. It was the John Varvatos edition Chrysler 300. I got that car and I really loved it, but my husband hated how small it was, and that was the car that we drove together all the time. It was like our family car, and so he hated it, so I traded it in on a GMC Yukon, which is what I drive now. And I really like my Yukon. I love it. But it just rides rough, like stiff, because it's a truck. And so my Yukon, my Durango was like a dark hunter green, and my Chrysler was a black car, and then my Yukon is black. See, before my Durango, I did have a white truck. I had a white Dodge Ram 1500 with the Hemi. Ooh, that was a sweet truck. Anywho, I am almost back home, driving through this construction. I'm in my neighborhood, so I just wanted to let you guys, Well, I got on here to update you guys about my day, and then the stupid traffic people took over my conversation. I went and got all of the groceries for the ladies ministry thing, movie night tomorrow. We got all of that. I have it in my car, so I'm going to unload all of that. I'm going to actually probably do a cooking thing in my video tonight, because I make a recipe called Hennessy steak, and my best friend is the one that taught me how to make it. It's amazing. And you do have to use Hennessy liquor, but you cook it out, so you really only use it for like the flavor of the syrup that that it makes, but all the alcohol cooks out of it. And you mix it with heavy cream, and you make it like a sauce for your steak, and then it fries, and it is so good. And I'm craving it, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna back into my car. That's my son's truck. He has a Dodge Ram 2500 with a 12-inch lift kit. And then this truck right here is our employee's truck. It was easier for him to meet my husband here this morning than to go to the job site. So let's see, I got up late per usual. For the past couple of weeks I've been getting up late, but this morning I slept in late because my neck wasn't hurting while I was laying down, so I laid in the bed a little bit. So I got up, it was about 8:30 when I got out of the bed. I was replying to emails and messages and comments and stuff. I was replying to Etsy comment messages in my shop. And then I put my shelves together for my desk. I'll have to show you guys those. I got a monitor riser, so I got that. I put that up. Yeah, I need to show you guys my couch. I'm not sure if I got a before picture, but holy Moses, I think it's been in a vlog before how dirty my microfiber couch was, and I cleaned it with Windex, like all the Pinterest stuff. It's amazing. So I did that, and yeah. Oh, and I went to Best Buy and got, I opened my garage. I went to Best Buy and I got the camera lens. I switched it out. So I am going, oh, look how messy that garage is. So messy. I'm gonna go get all these groceries in. I'm gonna work on some orders. I'm gonna test out my new lens. So I'm in such a good mood today. Yay! Good morning, everyone. Well, today is Friday, and this is my to-do list, cleaning-wise. Today is going to be a big day. I have to fit going to the chiropractor in here somewhere, and my mattress, they just called me, and it's going to be delivered earlier than I expected, which is good. So this is the Annie Plans insert that they collabed with the Planner Society. So I just put the date up here, and then I listed out everything that I needed to do, and then I numbered them in the list in the order that I wanted to do them in. So first up is my downstairs bathroom. Then I need to focus on my kitchen. So I need to do the dishes, the kitchen counters, mop. From there, I need to pick up the living room, dust my living room, and then once I'm done with that, move to my desk, then my pantry, and then vacuum upstairs and dust upstairs. I'm not sure that anyone will even go up there, but just in case, I wanted to be prepared. Well, that's everything. I've done the dishes, the downstairs bathroom, and I even broke it down. Oh, sorry. I even broke it down into exactly what needed to be done in that downstairs bathroom. I cleaned off my desk, the living room, dusted the living room, cleaned the counters, mopped, even got to my pantry. I didn't get to the upstairs, which is fine because no one went upstairs. So I'm going to do that later today, as well as clean my bathroom. I'm sorry, not later today, later tomorrow. So let's get ready for these ladies, and I'll probably check in with you guys tomorrow because I doubt I'll be able to vlog anymore today. So catch you tomorrow. Hey everybody, it is Saturday, and normally I don't vlog on Saturdays, but today I just wanted to kind of catch up with you guys. Last night was so much fun. We ended up watching that movie Wonder, which is a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest it. It was so good. So today I am just going to see if I can get this vlog from last week finally finalized, work on today's vlog for a little bit, work on some orders. My husband actually got up and went to work for a little while today, so my house is completely spotless, downstairs anyway. Upstairs is a mess, but I might get to it today, maybe tomorrow. If not, I'll get to it on Monday for sure. It's not that dirty. So I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will check back in with you next week. I'm gonna do something kind of different with the vlogs, so I hope you guys like them. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.